Back at the PE Center on the campus of Marian University, the second of two here this afternoon between Mount Vernon Nazarene and the Marian University Knights. This one on the men's side after the women won the game earlier today, 75-59. Men of Marian 16-4 and tied for third in the conference, taking on the 10-9 Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars. We welcome you back in alongside Jan Bozier. I'm Rob Brown. And Jan, Mount Vernon comes in having lost two straight. Meanwhile, Marian, after suffering I think what would be fairly characterized as a disappointing 2-point loss here at home to an undermanned St. Francis team 10 days ago, they have responded with two very impressive wins, two on the road, and trying to get back at it here on the home court today.
Yeah, Marian's got two-point losses on their schedule. They've lost 4, and 2 of them have been by 2. So I'll tell you what, Coach Hetty's been able to get out of this ball club is amazing to me. In most games, they're undersized, but we'll talk about rebounding. They do a lot of things very good to get by with what they got.
Let's take a look at the keys for today's game. What Jan has on his mind.
Well, tempo is key here because Marian wants to push it. Under control pushing, but they want to up the tempo. Free throw battle, well, I think Cougars may have an edge there. They get there 20 times. They live there. Rebounding battle is amazing. Marian gets 40 rebounds a game. And most games, Rob, they're undersized.
Well, they're 9th in the country in rebound margin with a 9.8 rebound advantage per game. That's 9th across all of NAIA. Well, as always, our starting lineups are brought to us by the O'Brien Automotive family. If saving money is important to you, visit Tom O'Brien Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, a proud sponsor of Marian Athletics. Tom O'Brien is Indy's preferred Jeep dealer with 2 locations and the biggest Jeep inventory in Indiana. To show their support, Tom O'Brien will donate $200 to Marian for every car any student, parent, employee, or friend of Marian buys when you mention this promo. Go Knights, and go to Tom O'Brien to see how their family works for you since 1933. Let's go down to the floor in the public address for the Mount Vernon Nazarene starting lineup.
The Knights host the Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene from Mount Vernon, Ohio. Welcome back to all of our Marian University alumni. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starting lineups for this afternoon's contest presented by Tom O'Brien Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. First, for the Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene University. At guard, a senior from Trotwood, Ohio, number 0, Milton Gage. At guard, a junior from Dover, Ohio, number 3, Cade Whitaker. At forward, a sophomore from the Netherlands, number 5, Jeshero Barika. At guard, a sophomore from Cedarville, Ohio, number 10, Trent Koenig. At guard forward, a senior from Lynchburg, Ohio, number 12, Eric McLaughlin. The Cougars head coach in his 9th season is Jared Ronay. Ladies and gentlemen, starting lineups for the Mount Vernon Nazarene University Cougars.
Well, Jan, the big story for that Mount Vernon Nazarene lineup is who is not in the lineup, and that's Kyle Kegley, the 6'9 senior. Their leading scorer averages a double-double, 18.5 points and 10.5 rebounds. That's going to be a huge obstacle for them to overcome today on the road.
And you see that with a lot of ball clubs, Rob. The big guys really take a pounding, and a lot of times they'll have to miss a few ball games. Hopefully for their sake, he's not out long.
Well, Kegley, an first-team All-League player last year, unable to go today. Saw him in the street clothes prior to the contest. Marian will also be missing a key player, Brody Whitaker, who had worked his way into the starting lineup. We'll talk more about him in a second. Let's go back down to the scorers table for the Marian starting 5.
At forward, a 6'8 senior from El Cajon, California, number 3, Tayshawn Cherry. At forward, a 6'6 senior from Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, number 23, Luke Goldman. At guard, a 5'11 senior from Carmel, Indiana, number 11, Luke Petty. At guard, a 6'1 senior from Morristown, Indiana, number 25, Hayden Langcable. Rounding out the night starting lineup is a senior guard out of Richmond, Indiana, wearing number 2, Christian Harvey. The Knights head coach in his 6th season is Scott Petty. Ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for the Marian University Knights.
Well, we mentioned Brody Whitaker, the sophomore from Greencastle, who had worked his way into the starting lineup the last couple games and had really given them a lift, averaging 16.5 points per game over his last 4. Back flare up earlier today. He's unable to go. So the Knights have Luke Hetty back in the starting lineup for the 3rd time this season.
I've seen the men play a couple times, and when they space the floor really well, they can be a really good shooting ball club. All 5 guys can put it up pretty well.
Tyshawn Cherry and Jacario Barica jump it up, and the tap's controlled by the Cougars, clad in the dark blue uniforms, the white numerals and lettering. Marian in the home grays with the white numerals, trimmed in navy. Deep catch for Barica. Down the baseline, reverse layup is poked out. Kept alive by the Cougars. Barica spins on Cherry and gets to the rim.
Boy, he just stayed after it, got a nice look.
Barica, one of 4 international players on this Mount Vernon Nazarene roster. Cherry. Langcable goes away from the screen. Back to Cherry, who unloads to Langcable with 8 to shoot. Langcable gets free, fakes the kick to the corner and flips it up and in on the runner.
Yeah, nice look off. Got the defense just to hesitate enough to get that laid in.
Langcable averaging 11.5 points per game. One of 4 double-figure scorers in this Marian roster. Ruckseger knocks down the 3, leads the team in that category. That's his 44th triple of the season. Shoots it at a 33% clip from out there. Goman. Now Cherry turning and looking. Double team comes. They want to get the ball out of Cherry's hands as much as possible. Goman shoots a 3 out front, and he stays hot.
Yes, sir. Great ball movement. That's a Coach Hetty ball club. You're moving, or you're probably not playing.
Luke Goman coming in today, Jan, in the last 4 games, 12 out of 19 from the 3-point line.
Yeah, they've got 5 guys usually on the floor that if you give them a little space, they can put it in.
Harvey with a great block recovery. Scott Hetty says, let's push, as Gage is late to come back at the 5-on-4. Cherry in the lane. Shot over Barica. Barica got a piece, and they're going to rule that Barica got a piece of Cherry's wrist as well.
Well, we talked about tempo, and you called it right. Coach Hetty really enforcing and pushing the fact we want to get up and down the floor. When you are at size disadvantage most of the time, you find other ways to compensate that height difference. And this year, he's pushing it really more this year than he did last year.
Tyson Cherry at the line. Knocks down the first one. Cherry had 31 points last Saturday in the road win at Mount Vernon Nazarene. That's the good news. The bad news is he got 2 technical fouls and had to serve a suspension and missed the game, the win up at St. Francis on Wednesday night.
St. Francis, tough place to play. They like their basketball up there.
First 2 free throws good for Cherry. And Marian has its first lead of the game. Barica backs, jump hook, and he's fouled by Cherry.
We're going to watch this battle all day. Both these guys going right after each other. The key will be who can play defense without fouling.
Well, it's interesting, Jan, that Tyshawn Cherry's the leading scorer for Marian, so you know he's going to be a point of emphasis for them offensively. Barica averages less than 4 points a game, but they force-fed him the ball here early.
Well, they got to find some points with their big guy setting down. So he's a good alternative, and so they're going to really try to force it inside to keep outside open.
Barica hits both free throws. Mentioned he's an international player, a native of the Netherlands, but he played his high school basketball at Bishop Morris Salesian High, which is in downtown Los Angeles, just north of the Staples Center. Harvey got all the way to the rim and laid it in.
That's pretty. That's under control.
Christian Harvey, his first 2. The veteran senior. A couple super seniors out there for Marian in Goman and Harvey. Jumpers missed, and Cherry's got the rebound.
Great help side by Hetty.
Goman tees up another 3. That one's off the back of the rim, but Rainbow's out to Cherry, Hanson Lang Cable,
Yes,
and he
sir.
knocks one down.
That's what the Knights, when they're doing this, when they're looking for that open guy making the extra pass, that's what they can do.
Knights have hit 2 of their first 3 3-pointers to lead this one by 5. Gage, his first real touch in the half court. McLaughlin picked up by Cherry on a switch. Rugsteger tries to get free. 9 on the timer as Rugsteger has it back. Goman hedges. Gage gets the defender off his feet. Open 18-footer, good. That's good composure by a senior guard.
Boy, they really played that down to the last second. Good ball movement.
But as you pointed out, a lot of times during that women's game, they didn't panic. They stayed composed. Lang Cable picked up by Barica on a switch, trying to find Cherry on the mismatch. And the Cougars recover. Lang Cable attacks in the paint. Flip shot is short. Trying to tap at his miss. But instead, the Cougars come the other way. Rugsteger, who has a long 3 from the right side already to his credit. Gives to Gage down the baseline. Bounce to Barica. And he's fouled at the rim by Cherry. That's 2.
Yeah, that's a big foul. Didn't need to pick that one up.
Second on Cherry, second on the team. We mentioned, take a look at that, he got him on the follow through on the replay.
That's one you can't get if you're him. You know you got the one, and when you're playing behind him, more than likely you're going to get that foul, and he did.
We've got the under 16 timeout, so we'll go ahead and stay here with 2 free throws coming on the other side for Mount Vernon Nazarene. The Knights leading by 3. Just 4 minutes into the game. The back end of this doubleheader. Today's afternoon action is brought to us by AAA Roofing. When it rains, it pours, so trust the pros at AAA Roofing. That's who we call AAA Roofing. Game brought to us by Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, a proud partner of the Marian University Knights. Well, we talked, Jan, about Brody Whitaker not being available tonight, but for Knights fans, a good sight there at the scorer's table right before that stoppage was Josh Bryan at the scorer's table, the junior 3-point shooter averaging 10 points a game. He's missed the last 4 games due to a calf injury and set to make his return. Marian's already hit 2 of their first 3. Now their best 3-point shooter is back in action.
Well, and that's why that second foul is even bigger tonight with Marian being a little more short-handed. You got to think about that one before you attack from behind, which you know is going to be a foul, but he's going to sit down. Let's see how Marian reacts now. They'll have to probably be a little bit smaller here.
Luke Goman hitting a 3 to open things. Hayden Langcable with 5 to lead all scorers. Flip shot in the lane and a left side 3. Barica's back at the line for 2 more. We mentioned Josh Bryan, number 5, with the one long white tights on just his right leg, left leg only. That's an interesting look.
Yeah.
Gavin Foe is also into the game, number 44 for the Knights.
And really both teams with their substitutions out of that timeout have went a little bit smaller.
The first 2 subs into the game for the Knights are Foe and Bryan. Barica misses that one after he'd made his first 3. And it holds a 2-point Knights lead. 12-10. Harvey attacks on Gage. Goman out front. They ran him off the 3-point line. He's down the lane. He tucks it in like a football player and gets to the rim.
He's such a smart player. Really knows what to do and when to do it.
Luke Goman appearing in his 140th game as a Marian Knight. Christian Harvey not far behind at 110. Hayden Langcable at 142. You got 3 guys on the floor right now that have played in over 100 games. Bryan, his first catch and shoot 3 is missed. Rebounded by Barica. End to end we go quickly. Up-tempo game to start it. Rugsteger jump pass to McLaughlin on the wing. Koenig lost the handle as Langcable scoops it up, and Koenig gives a foul as the Knights had a 2-on-3 brewing at the other end.
Boy, both teams really moving, really being active on the half court. Take a look here, quick hands by Marian.
So new players in for Mount Vernon, T.C. Mulk. T.C. Mulk, number 1 with the face mask, is into the game. He's a 6'2 freshman out of Dover, Ohio. And guarding Goman out there is Halvard Staff, 6'8 freshman out of Bærum, Norway, one of 2 Norwegians on the roster. Langcable found Bryan on a nice back cut, and he laid it in.
Pretty. Gorgeous pass. Love passing.
Josh Bryan, the Muncie native, his 3rd stop. Played at UIndy and Ball State before coming to Marian. In the lane, Ruckseger's runners up and in.
Boy, did he elevate on that one? Wow, he got up.
Ruckseger, 2nd leading scorer on this team at almost 18 a game, coming off a 19-point game on Wednesday night as Bryan hits a 3. And boy, the Knights would love to see him get going, coming back into the lineup after 4 games away. 19-12, biggest lead of the early stages for the Knights. Up 7. Coney, Mulk tries a 3 off the screen. It slams off the front of the rim, and Langcable quickly to the other end for the Knights. Goman looked at the 3, but Staff closed out. Dribble handoff, Langcable weaving through the lane. Harvey, teardrop up, spins off the heel.
Boy, you love the offense, just didn't get it to fall.
Langcable up tight on Ruckseger. Coney killed his dribble at the left block, needs help. Mulk cut off on the baseline by Bryan with 10 on the timer. Mulk fakes, and the shot blocked by Bryan. Goman's first to the loose change, looking for assistance, finds Foe. Bryan. Well, Goman pump fake from the volleyball line. The way he's shooting it, you have to play him out there. He'll try it right side. Boy, that looked good when he let it go. Instead, McLaughlin rebounds. Coney. Ooh, he had his pocket picked by Harvey.
Yes, he did.
Who will soar to the other end and lay it in. Timeout called by Jared Ronay, the Mount Vernon Nazarene head man. We'll go ahead and stay right here with 12:25 to go in this first half, and the Knights enjoying a 21-12 lead.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you better be communicating on defense because both these teams are really rotating, really moving. If you're not talking, you're going to lose your player now and then defensively. So it's really going to be important for you to really talk defensively.
Well, today's game brought to us by BSN. A thank you to BSN, the preferred provider of apparel for Marian Knight Athletics. And Jan, I'm struck here early by just how crisp Marian has been at both ends of the floor. Not a lot of wiggle room for them so far.
No, and they know that. That's how they play, and that's how Coach Hetty has got them coached. They know what their role is. They know what their limitations are, and what they can do, they do very well. They move, and they really work for the best shot they can.
Well, Marian's had a couple players at the table about to step in. So we talked before the game. Marian has 11 players on its roster averaging at least 10 minutes a game. That's remarkable. And Scott Hetty goes deeper into his bench, sending Maximus Gizzi, number 1 out there, the solid point guard, junior 6'1", out of New Pal. And the big man, Nolan Foster, the 6'10 senior from Mattawan, Michigan, is on as well. So the 5 from Marian, Gizzi, Hetty, Foe, Foster, and Bryan.
Now, part of the reason Coach Hetty does that because it's more for defense, I believe, because he knows he has to keep fresh legs in there because he needs pressure because he doesn't always have the size matchups.
Mulk run off the three-point line. Ruckseger fades for 3 and hits. Oh, he was falling into the cooler in the corner. And Ruckseger tosses
another
it
millimeter, and he'd been on the out-of-bounds line.
Or on that exercise bike over there in the corner. Ruckseger with 8. Brian's open for a three. Got behind a screen, but he missed it short. Carter Pline just into the game, a 6'5 junior out of Fowler, Michigan. Brings the rebound the other way. Rugsteger with Hetty up tight. Rugsteger leans, thought he drew the foul, missed the runner. Batted off the end line, last touch by the Cougars.
Defense interior has been solid for the Knights. Getting really good help side. There you see backside help. Attacking the glass, rebounding wise.
Malk returns to the bench with Koenig returning.
Of course, Gizzy and New Pal Dragon. You were saying New Pal pretty good this year.
They're really good. His younger brother Julius on the team. Foe shoots a three that's long for the Knights. Brian flies up the back of Gage to commit the foul.
I believe you had a sister's pretty good too.
The all-time leading scorer at New Pal. Maximus out there on the floor for the Knights is the all-time leading boys scorer. And of course, Isabella Gizzy, a standout senior for the New Pal girls team, coached by her mom.
Yes.
Who was the all-time leading scorer before that.
Always good to have that good genetics, doesn't it?
Yep, absolutely. Milton Gage on that foul came down and looked like he rolled his ankle.
Yeah, he grabbed it there.
Yeah, rolled that right ankle, so he checks out. And Barica has returned. Gage was able to walk himself to the bench, though, so he'll get some attention from the training staff, but looks promising that he'll return. 21-15 to score. Marian up by 6. Barica runs right at Foster and scores.
Well, I'll tell you, he looks better than 4 or 5 points a game.
He's sitting on 7 with halfway through the first half. And you're right, with Kyle Kegley's 18.5 points out of the lineup, those interior points have got to come from somewhere. Gizzy. Back out to Brian, who fakes a three. Has Hetty open for a three. And that was off the mark. Rebound is poked in the air, and Rugsteger runs it down in front of the Cougars bench. Looks for a trailer, not there, so shovels to Klein. And the Cougars get into their offense. Staff cut off nicely at the foul line by Foe. Brian up tight. Rugsteger lost the handle. 7 to shoot. Koenig behind the back against Gizzy. Might have gotten away with a walk. Turnaround shot up and in. Timeout. Timeout called by Scott Hetty. I think that's as much, Jan, as this is a 7-0 run by the Cougars. I think this is as much as he did not want the game to proceed any further with Cherry and Lankable at the scorer's table. Want to get them back in the game.
Yeah, a good timeout. He was not happy with how deep penetration got with the ball that time. Certainly talking about that, but you're right. He needed to get those substitutions in, maybe as big as anything during why that timeout was called.
Well, the Knights leading by as much as 7 in the first half of this first half. Lead currently sits at 2. Today's game brought to us by the M Club. Joining the M Club is the absolute best way to support the student athletes at Marian University. For more information, visit marian.edu/M Club.
The Cougars really did a good job of getting a little run together there and getting right back in this thing.
So Tayshawn Cherry and Hayden Lankable return for the Knights. Cherry goes right to the baseline and goes right at Barica. Well, I think you can make a case, Jan, that Barica got the early best of that matchup, getting the first 2 quick fouls on Cherry. Cherry has responded in kind to get Barica's second.
Well, they need Cherry in the lineup. Now, he's got to play smart, but this won't be the first nor the last time he has to play with 2 fouls.
And what's the call?
He's pointing up the score.
I think the shot clock.
They got to reset the clock.
Yeah, the shot clock was not where it should have been. Mount Vernon Nazarene using that opportunity to get TC Molk back in the game. But with Barica out, now this becomes a rather undersized lineup for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Cherry, played by the smaller McLaughlin, shoots over him, hits the shot, falling away, and put him on the line.
How about a fall away 25-footer?
Oh my.
I think you have to have some length in order just to get that shot off and a little strength to get it there.
Yeah, they initially ruled that a 3. He was inside the line, so it's a 2-point made field goal. But Cherry completes the 3-point play. It's a sure-ish shot regardless of how you score.
Yeah, and he makes immediate impact, which is what they need.
24-19, big 3-point play by Cherry, stops the 7-0 Mount Vernon Nazarene run. McLaughlin down to Staff. Staff backing in on Cherry.
Cherry's got to get his hands up. He's playing with 2 fouls. When you're playing with 2 fouls, you can't play your hands on hips. You're going to get that third one. He's got to play with his hands up with 2 fouls.
Gavin Foe called for the foul as Koenig navigated his way to the rim. Shooting foul called, so Koenig tees it up twice. First one spins off. Koenig, a 12-letter winner in high school.
That's impressive.
And Jan, the thing that warms my heart, 8 of those 12 were in running, track and cross country.
I wouldn't know
right in my wheelhouse.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Well, that's why I said mine, not yours. Gizzy drives on Molk, tough drive, and Molk got a piece. Here come the Cougars the other way. Down 4, Rugseger into a trailing 3. He got it.
Stopped on a dime.
You got to find him in transition.
Yes, sir.
He's hit 3. 3 out of 3 is Rugseger from behind the line.
Really good ball game. Really good.
Inside 9 minutes. Cherry falling away, hits a tough shot.
Cherry has come in and made an immediate impact.
Picked up 2 quick fouls, sat for a little bit, has come back in. He has 7.
He's hard to guard, I should say. He can really elevate, and he's got good length.
McLaughlin back to Rugseger. Molk, lob into Staff. Foe was front side him, and he got the steal on the deflection. Lane Cable lopes into the front court. Cherry, quick swing to the corner, and 2 players standing on top of each other, so no space to shoot. Lane Cable has space to fire it up, and he knocks it down.
Great ball reversal.
Second 3 of the game for Lane Cable. He's got 8 points.
I love his game. He's always looking to shoot and ready to shoot.
Lead back to 6. Molt curling the lane. Got the step on Lane Cable and got to the rim with a left-hand finish.
Boy, they're hard to guard. They're downhill a lot.
Molt, 2 years younger, but a high school teammate of Rugseger at Dover, Ohio. 29-25. Marian lead is 4. Cherry through the lane against Staff, put it up, missed the shot, but drew the foul. That's a veteran senior going against a freshman who he outweighs by 40 pounds.
Yeah.
He just bulldogged him right to the rim.
He used his strength, he used his length, he used everything in order to get to that rim. That's hard to guard right there. If you don't stop him early, that's really hard to stop.
So Halbert Staff, the freshman out of Norway, takes the foul. New faces into the game. Pline returning faces I should say. Pline returns for Mount Vernon. Back in the lineup for Marian. Goman is back in, as is Josh Bryan and Christian Harvey. Hayden Langcable and Tayshawn Cherry stay on the floor. Cherry splits the pair. He joins Langcable with 8 points. It's 30-25, 7:35 to go first half. McLaughlin. Dribble handoff to Molk. Klein. McLaughlin backs. Now Molk. Harvey up tight on him. Staff to the foul line. Koenig with 5 to shoot. Staff rolls to the bucket. Got in the lane and he traveled. I think right now, Jan, if you're Jaron Renee, Rugseger has really had it going, but with him on the bench, you have to wonder where your point's going to come from.
Exactly right, especially when they're a little short-handed. And if they're not careful here, Marian really starting to spread this lead, and it's even bigger now.
A nice back cut as Langcable found Harvey, who was freed. Harvey freed by a nice weak side screen from Goman. 3 players team up to make that an easy layup for Harvey. He has 6.
Cougars need something here. They may need a timeout.
Right on cue, Rugseger heads to the scorer's table. Koenig turned by the defender, left it on the baseline for Pline. Too many gray shirts there, but a foul called. And defense bails Pline out, puts him on the foul line. That foul. Foul went to Josh Bryan, his second. Team fifth. Carter Pline shoots 2. First one up and in.
And we talked about needing to get to the free throw line. Felt like that's what the Cougars would really want to do. They have not been there a lot here in the first half.
5 out of 7 are the Cougars. Marian's 4 out of 5. Pline hits the second. 32-27. Marian trailed 5-2. That was the last time. Led by as much as 7. Bryan picked up his dribble. Langcable. Bryan run off the three-point line by Rugsteger. Still plenty of time. Cherry tries a topside 3. Got some contact. Wanted a call. Scott Heddy is agreeing with Cherry as Bryan picks up the loose ball and they give a foul at half court. I think Scott Heddy is contending that you've got to give Cherry space to land on that 3. That's what I think he's arguing about. You got to give the shooter space to get down. Let's take a look here and see. And yeah, absolutely. McLaughlin runs up under his space. It's a great job by our crew on that replay. The foul, the take foul was given by Koenig, the 16th foul on the Cougars. Cherry mismatch in deep against Pline, got to the rim, but he's fouled. And he'll shoot 2 more.
He's really good down there, Rob, at the block. Posted up that time. If he don't get backside hell, he's a handful. Really good post move there. He really has the full game, doesn't he?
He really does. And the way Mount Vernon is configured from a lineup standpoint, you almost want Cherry to like not abandon, but look inside first. He's got such a size advantage under the bucket.
He does. Good quickness, good length. Boy, he's flat out played really well. I don't want to jinx him here with 2 fouls.
And you've got a guy who can get to the line who shoots it at 84%. Lead back to 7, matching the biggest of the game for the Knights. And Tyshawn Cherry, the first Knight to get to double figures, he's got 10, excuse me. Rugsteger leads all scorers, he's got 11. Molk dribbles into a double team. Koenig trying to bail out late clock, picked up his dribble in the paint. Pline with a late clock 3 in front of the Marian bench. Carter Pline, just his 3rd 3 of the season.
Well, the Cougars got Marian to commit 3 guys to the paint. Got the outside game clicking there.
Mentioned earlier, Marian was on its biggest lead. They actually led by 9 at 21-12. The lead currently sits at 4 after the Pline 3. Langcable backs in on Molk. Bank shot too strong. Rebound tapped out to Harvey at the wing. Langcable 3 behind. The Goman screen is good.
How about staying with it? I really like Langcable's game. He's picked it up a notch from last year.
And credit to Goman for that offensive line level screen that freed him up in the corner. Langcable's got 11 to lead the Knights. Right side 3 by McLaughlin is short, and Cherry one-hands the rebound. Scott Heddy says, let's go. 4.5 to go.
Rob, he continues when they bring it down to want to push it. You can see why.
Quick 3 by Goman. Knights have already taken 12 threes. Timeout taken. 30-second timeout taken by the Cougars. We'll stay here. 4:17 left in the first half. And the Knights lead by 7 at 37-30. Well, today's game is brought to us by our friends at the Michaelis Corporation. From ground-up building projects to around-the-clock emergency security services, no one answers your prayers or the phones quicker than Michaelis. Call 1-844-FIX-INDY. That's 1-844-FIX-INDY. Great crew working with us today. Jordan Shue, our director. Dennis Glover on the replay. Rob Lynch, Chase Eisnogel, Greg Sharton, and Becca Kelly handling our cameras. Alongside Jan Bocher, I'm Rob Brown. Happy. There's Lane Cable for three. He has had it dialed in. He's 3 out of 3 from the line today, Jan.
Yeah, he doesn't need much time to get that three off. I really like the timeout called by Mount Vernon because you can start to really see Marian just slowly but surely build that lead. It's up to 7 now, and they need to stop the bleeding a little bit.
Lane Cable leads the Knights with 11. Out there with Josh Bryan came back in during the timeout. So did Halvard Staff. He kicks it back out. Molk with a curling three is good.
And that's what you want coming out of a timeout. Make some adjustments and close that gap. Exactly what happened.
Cougars are 5 out of 8 from the three-point line, helping them stay in this game.
Yeah, they're a ball club that only averaged about 33. Shooting it well today, though.
Goman three behind the screen. That's good.
He does that in his sleep.
And his expression never changes throughout the entire game. Harvey with another midcourt steal, his second. Race to the other end, and he punches it down.
Hello. I love it. Little energy, little emotion.
Explodes off the floor for the hammer. Harvey with 8. 2 stripping steals from half court on Harvey's ledger in the first half. Molk, another curling three. That one rolls off the front of the rim. Goman battling with Staff, takes the foul. Oh man, does he elevate?
Yes, he does. You knew that one was coming.
The senior out of Richmond.
He flat out got down there in a hurry.
Goman's foul, his first, just the 6th on the team though, so a non-shooting situation for the Cougars. Inbounding. Rugseger tried to bounce it into Staff, it's stolen away. Gavin Foe and Maximus Gizzy have returned for the Knights as Harvey and Cherry get a rest. Gizzy handling the point guard chores when he's in there.
Defense for the Knights has been solid all in this first half.
Goman, run off the three-point line, picked up his dribble, wants to set a screen for Lane Cable. Back out to Goman, left it for Gizzy, down the lane. Gizzy driving kick, ball swung to Lamb Cable, collection dribble, 3 on the way, got it.
Oh my, orchestrated to perfection. Great spacing, extra passes.
Lane Cable 4 out of 4 from the line.
That is Coach Hattie to a T.
Screen roll pass, Aaron out of bounds. Knights force the turnover. Luke Ketty returns.
Yes, sir. I've seen that man do a lot of good things in my career at a lot of different places, Carmel, Warren Central, and that's what he does every time.
Luke Ketty returns as Josh Bryan gets a seat. Josh Bryan, we see him over in the exercise bike, keeping that calf loose that caused him to miss 4 games. Going for 3. He got it.
Man, I'm telling you, we talked about this. A Coach Hattie team has 5 guys who can flat out play.
Well, the Knights have run off 10 straight points. And the lead is a game-high 15. Rugseger for 3. That's short. Gizzy came out to challenge it. And it goes out of bounds back to the Knights. I think Jaron Renee is sensing this game starting to slip from his grasp a little bit in the final 106 seconds of this first half.
You've seen enough games to know when a team has that rhythm to them, the Knights are in the rhythm.
Knights are 8 out of 15 from the three-point line. 8 of their 9 field goals have been from long range. Foe in the right block. Spins on Pline. Lane Cable run off the line. Twisting scoop shot partially blocked. Good defense by Molk. And Rugseger has it. Head pass up to Pline in the lane. Ball swung to Koenig for 3. That's short. Pline, Molk rather flew in, couldn't get the rebound. Now Gizzy surveys at the other end. Lane Cable down the baseline, all the way. Twisting reverse layup.
Pretty.
Boy, there was pool hall English on that one.
They are fun to watch when they're in the groove.
It's a 50-point first half for the Knights, and the lead is 16. Lane Cable with 16 points in the half. Make the lead 17, excuse me. McLaughlin Backs in on Gizzy. Gizzy holds his ground against the 6'6" McLaughlin, who flips up a short air ball.
Gizzy was solid defense.
Knights can go 2 for 1 if they hurry. Goman.
He was thinking about it.
He thought about letting it go up there.
I kind of like that thought, actually.
Now the Knights will go deep clock. Gizzy reloads out between the circles. 7 on the timer. Has a screen from Langcable. Spins away. Langcable, 1 dribble to his left. 3 is around and off. That's his first miss from out there. Time for the Cougars. 7 seconds into the forecourt. Ruegseger to the baseline. Gizzy cut him off, but that's the 7th team foul.
Ooh, don't want to get the foul there.
So that'll put Ruegseger at the line for 1-1.
With 4 seconds left, last thing you want to do if you're Marian here is foul, put him to the free throw line.
Well, you certainly want to force him away from the basket like they did, but yeah, that's a tough one. Tough foul on Gizzy. Ruegseger shoots 1-1. He's a 71%er. No good. Rebounded by Foe. Gizzy's got time. Gets to half court. Loads it up, but it's short. And that'll do it. But a 50-point first half for Marian. The Knights dialing in from long range. Hayden Langcable 4 out of 5 on the way to 16 first half points. The Knights lead this one 50-33 at the break. We'll step out, come right back. Halftime activities next. You're watching Marian Knights basketball on the ISC Sports Network.
Is your building haunted or infested with icky snakes? Then tear it down. The Raised Trash Demolition Squad can flatten buildings up to 3 stories tall. Whether it's a commercial or residential structure, the Raised Trash Demo experts will make it go boom. And with their roll-off containers, they'll haul away the mess quicker than you can say, hey, there used to be a building there. Bring your old fire trap to its knees with Raised Trash.
RaisedTrash.com.
Raised Trash.
The minute I stepped foot on campus, I didn't want to leave.
Everyone here is about helping you succeed. It's hard work, but it's totally worth it.
I have so much support from my advisors.
The nursing program is why I chose Marian.
I'm studying to be a teacher.
I'm a business major.
My professors really challenge me, and I know I'll be ready for my career.
A great education is the best thing you could ever do for yourself.
Marian University, an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
This is the Pepsi for America's Best Barbecue. Worthy of 100-mile detours and 1,000 likes. Looks good. This is the Pepsi for mopping, dipping, and dousing. Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you. This is the Pepsi for serious fans and serious eats. This is the Pepsi for Sundays at the ballpark and days off at your favorite pizza joint. Right, Aaron?
Best slice in New York.
Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you.
Now back at the PE Center on the campus of Marian University. Rob Brown alongside Jan Bozier. Second of 2 for you this afternoon, and Marian's men's basketball squad leads Mount Vernon of Nazarene 50-33. 3 in double figures in that first half, and Jan, we were talking during the break. Boy, you look up and down the stat sheet, that's about as good a first half as Marian can play. And I think the thing, we'll get deeper into these numbers as we go through this halftime. The thing that I think blows my mind is Marian played so quickly, yet just played 20 minutes of turnover-free basketball.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, listen, you've talked over and over how he's able to distribute playing time, keeps the defense fresh, which I believe is the key in all that, and then they'd really, really play quick. We talked about in the keys of the game, tempo. Tempo is so important to Marian because they have to overcome some things. And, boy, when they got in that groove, man, that's about as well as they can play.
Well, the Knights shooting 56% from the field. And, you know, you look at the fact that the Knights had 8 3-pointers and, did not turn the basketball over. Just a mind-boggling stat. Hayden Langcable leads all scorers. He has 16 points. Cade Rucksager has 11 points to pace Mount Vernon. Let's take our first break here in the halftime show. We come back, we'll have more from the PE Center as the Knights lead this one 50-33. At the break, we'll step out and be back with more after this on the ISC Sports Network.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. They've been in business for 35 plus years. I'm here with the owner, Richard Michaelis. Hey, Richard, what's the key to the growth over the last 35 years?
Pat, I believe being a family-owned local business that is involved in the community has a lot to do with it.
All right, so you have a lot of services. Tell us about some of those services.
We're really, really strong in the emergency services, smoke, fire damage restoration, storm and water damage restoration, all while working with your insurance company. We also do mold remediation, basement and crawl space waterproofing, foundation repair, and roof repair. We are a full-service company.
All right, as to the owner, we know you wear a lot of hats. What do you do day to day?
I really love being out in the field working with our clients. It gives me a great opportunity to understand their needs so we can take care of them.
Your hands-on approach, I think, is a lot to do with the success of Michaelis. If you find yourself needing their services, give them a call anytime, 24/7 at 844-FIX-INDY. The Michaelis Corporation. Construct, renovate, restore.
Who's got time for hot dogs and disco music? Your mind's cluttered with thoughts of commercial waste removal. So thank the good Lord above for Ray's Trash. Ray's will collect the intolerable rubbish at all your company's locations up to 6 times a week. That's 42 times in dog weeks. They shred documents and recycle too. And Ray's has roll-off containers for big loads, like construction waste or when your giant dies. Got a business? Get yourself to raystrash.com.
Ray'sTrash.com.
Ray's Trash.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Well, back at the PE Center on the campus of Marian University, Marian leads Mount Vernon Nazarene by the score of 50-33 here at the break. Marian entered today's play tied for third, a 3-way tie in the Crossroads League. Marian, Huntington, and Taylor all 6-4 heading into play today. Taylor's at Spring Arbor, Huntington's at Grace. Grace in second place at 8-2. Currently ranked 6th in the country, and Indiana Wesleyan atop the league at 10-0. The Wildcats are at St. Francis this afternoon. Bethel at Goshen, the other matchup in the league today. And Jan, you mentioned in our open, Marian has 2 home losses, both by 2 points. One of them was to that Wesleyan team that's currently sitting atop the league. And it's kind of a similar thing with the women's team that we talked about earlier today. Marian needs to kind of keep chipping away with one eye on that rematch with Wesleyan later on in the year.
You know, a loss here for the men, they can go from 3rd to 6th with one loss here. So that's why this game is so big. And I've been sitting here, been thinking about, listen, when you were talking about the tempo that the men played in that first half, and to be, for the most part, mistake-free, that's unheard of. You don't see that very often.
Well, you flip it the other way. 8 first-half turnovers for the Cougars that the Knights turned into 19 points, and that goes back to your tempo comment in our open and your keys to the game. That I don't know that between getting 18 points, 19 points in transition, not turning it over, and shooting 50% from the three-point line. That's about as flawless a first half as Marian can play.
And putting up a 50-point, 100-point pace, if you will, for the game. I mean, that they played. I've seen them play a few times this year. If they can play better, look out, but that's pretty solid.
3 in double figures, as we mentioned, for Marian. Hayden Langcable leads all scorers. He has 16 points. 11 points for Luke Goman. Tyshawn Cherry has 10. Cade Ruckseger, the only double-figure scorer for the Cougars, he has 11. And we talked about Kyle Kegley in the open, the leading scorer for the Knights, or for the Cougars rather. He's unavailable today due to injury. Came in averaging a team best 18.3 points per game. We're going to take another break here on the halftime show. When we come back, we'll have some first half highlights. We'll take you up to the start of half number 2 as the Knights lead by 17. You're watching Marian Knights basketball on the ISC Sports Network.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. They've been in business over 35 years. I'm here with Joe Polizzi to talk emergency services. Now, Joe, when I set my house on fire with a toaster, you were actually in my yard before the firefighters left.
Well, Pat, I remember that call like it was yesterday, and although I was disappointed that it was yours, I was happy that I was going to be able to provide some assistance.
You know, this is a true story. A firefighter actually told me I needed to call someone for emergency services, kind of obvious, and I told him Michaelis was on the way. He said, great, because they're the real deal. Joe, now what do you do in these situations when you show up?
Well, we try to be a calming influence, and we try to find out what the needs are of the family. Everybody's needs are different. Everybody's desires are different. What we try to do is match what we could provide with what they need and do it very smoothly.
I've lived it. If you find yourself needing emergency restoration service in the wake of a fire, flood, or storm, give the Michaelis Corporation a call anytime, 24/7, 844-FIX-INDY.
Marian University is like a home to me.
Campus is where I made friends that I know will last a lifetime.
Academics, sports, or arts, Marian's got something for you.
Plus, downtown Indy is just 10 minutes away from campus.
I'm a huge sports fan. Living in Indy, I've got the Knights, the Colts, and the Pacers.
Applying was so fast and easy.
I went to Marian for the education, but what I took away was the experience.
Marian University offers an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with zero sugar. This is the Pepsi with zero compromises. This is Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Back at the PE Center on the campus of Marian University, west side of Indianapolis, on this January Saturday afternoon. Glad you're with us, spending some time taking in NAIA college basketball here on the ISC Sports Network. Marian leads Mount Vernon Nazarene 50-33 here at the break. Second half about to unfold. We've got some highlights to take a look at. It was Mount Vernon hitting some shots early, largely Cade Ruckseger, their leading available scorer today, came in averaging almost 18 points per game, and he was 3 out of 4 from the three-point line, and some supporting role by Giancarlo Barrico. But then the Knights started to kind of flip it back in their favor, and Hayden Langcable really had it going in that first half.
He did, and I'll tell you what I thought really exploded the Knights. If you remember, Cherry had the 2 fouls, didn't play for a while, but man, when he came in, instant impact, and it just seemed like after that, the Knights exploded.
See Josh Bryan getting a bucket there in his return to action after missing 4 games, and Christian Harvey, one of his 2 steals at half court that he converted into an easy field goal. Here's the second one that had a little bit more mustard on it. Put it down with a slam and get himself and his teammate Tyshawn Cherry fired up, and then Langcable with little English. One of 2 field goals he made of his 6 that were inside the three-point line. 50-33 our score. And, right now, Jan, we didn't get to it in that last segment. What do you see adjustment-wise maybe for Mount Vernon? And I'm not sure if Scott Heddy makes any adjustment. The message might just be we can't let our foot off the gas.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what he's talking about. Listen, just because we played really well in one half, I was here a couple weeks ago, the girls, where they had a 20-point lead and almost gave it away. So you got to guard against that is for sure. If you know what, for the Cougars, what they're going to come out and do, they have to play harder. They have to get to the free throw line, and they've got to slow the tempo down. Because we talked about in that first half, Marian got into that comfort zone, and when they did, man, they were just unstoppable. Cougars have got to get them away from the tempo that they're comfortable in.
Well, Marian will have the basketball in a 17-point lead to start this second half. When we have a moment, we'll remind you that today's game is brought to us by Marian Athletics. Get all of the up-to-the-minute information on Knights Athletics at MUKnights.com and follow them on Twitter at MUKnights. That's at MUKnights. And big thanks to our friend Mitch Huppert, the fine sports information director here at Marian, who gets us all set up, gets us ready to go for these matchups. And so integral to our pregame prep.
There he is.
Guy that makes it all happen here courtside at the PE Center. Yep.
You know, of all the games that I've called, I love the games where there can be 5 shooters, 5 players, distribute, press, distribute, and can shoot. Love good shooters.
So the Knights will have the basketball. Original starting 5 heading back out on the floor. Hetty, Harvey, Langcable, Goman, and Cherry. And it looks as though Milton Gage, who suffered that right ankle injury, he did not come out of the dressing room. So 4 starters on the floor for Mount Vernon and Nazarene. Rucksager, Barica, Koenig, and McLaughlin, but Carter Pline will start the second half, with Gage apparently unavailable. Knights turn it over to start the second half. There goes the turnoverless streak.
Yeah, that's exactly what you don't want to do, start with a turnover.
We spent the entire halftime talking about it. We jinxed it right out of the chute.
Sure did.
Harvey with the rebound. Goman on a leak out, but he'll wait for reinforcements. Cherry, a 3 behind the screen. Got it.
Wow, he's got it all, doesn't he? Inside, outside.
Well, you don't often see the point guard set the screen to free up the center for a 3-point shot, and an illegal screen. Hetty got clipped. Foul called on the Cougars.
You know, you talk about Hetty, he has worked through a hip injury through his college career here and just have battled back in order to be able to continue to play. Put a lot of hard work in just to get back.
Barica takes that foul on the illegal screen, his 3rd. Cherry played by Barica out high. Harvey's got it on the wing as Koenig lost the dribble. Dumps in deep to Cherry. Fading over Barica. Barica got a piece, and that's a foul. Got him with the body. That's 4.
Cherry's made himself so difficult to guard. He's been everywhere, inside, outside. He just dared the defender to give him a little bit of space here.
Yep, and the follow-through, he got into his body. And Jaron Renee just turns away in disgust as he's a head coach shorthanded today with his leading scorer on the front line, Kyle Kegley, a double-double man, the 6'9 senior unavailable.
Well,
Barica's got 4 fouls with 19:54 to go.
When the Knights have scored 80 points during this year, they have not lost. So when they put up big numbers, they have been pretty successful.
Cherry's first free throw is good. He's got a quick 4 points to start this second half. Make it 5, and he's got 15 in the game. And the lead is 22. A 5-0 burst by Tayshawn Cherry to start the second half. Klein feeds Rucksager. Facing up on Hetty. Out to McLaughlin, left alone for 3, off the rim. And Staff fighting for the rebound. That's Halbert Staff, really the only lone big man still available for this Mount Vernon Nazarene team.
Well, this is one of the few times where Marian did not get a great check out. So you see nobody in front of him there checked him out.
Goman took that foul, his 2nd. Quick catch and shoot 3, and Hetty fouled Rucksager shooting the 3.
Now this is playing right in to the Cougars' hands. What you do not want to do if you're Marian is get them where they're in the bonus and shooting free throws a lot. That puts them exactly where they want to be to climb back in this thing.
Rupseger shoots 3. First one up and in. He has a team-high 12. Second one kicks up and in. 71%. He was a second team All-Crossroads League player last year out of Dover, Ohio. Missed that one short. And Cherry taps the rebound to a teammate. The Rupseger makes 2 out of 3. The lead is 20 for the Knights. 100 seconds into the second half. The weave out top. Harvey with it. Bounce to Cherry. Swing out to Harvey for a rare 3-look. Off the rim, rebounded by McLaughlin. Harvey does not take a lot of threes, but Harvey's got a steal. He gets a lot of those, and he gets to the rim and scores. That's what he does.
That's what he does, and as good as anybody. Little hesitation dribble, laid it up and in. Yes, sir.
Harvey in the double figures, fourth night to get there. He's got 10. Rupseger doubled off the screen, forced to kill his dribble and give to McLaughlin. Klein peering inside. Said the ball swung to Koenig. He got Harvey off his feet in the bucket, and Harvey again, active hand, stripped it loose. Underneath the bucket, Koenig scoops it up and lays it in. Oh my, Koenig in the right place, right time.
But I like the fact Marian didn't add insult to injury there and put a foul on him. He's going to score, just leave that one alone.
Harvey gets by Koenig, stumbling, gives to Hetty for an open 3. Around and off. Rebounded by McLaughlin. Staff turning face on Cherry in the left corner. Bangs him in, can't move Cherry anywhere, but he steps through the defenders and lays it in. Ooh, a little deception by the freshman Halvard Staff.
I'll tell you, Cougars playing pretty well right here. Haven't dug real deep into this lead, but they certainly have got off to a decent start.
4 straight for the Cougars. Langcable got in the lane, kicks it back out to Hetty. Couple subs way at the table for Marian to shake things up a bit. Cherry launches a 3, and he got it.
My word. Plays with confidence, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Tayshawn Cherry, 8 points in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half.
He plays with some passion. I love it.
Yes, he does. 18 points to lead all scorers. Staff, not a three-point shooter. He's attempted just 4. Rupseger is a three-point shooter as Hetty's up tight. Rupseger trying to get free to the baseline, cut off. McLaughlin with 3 on the timer. Takes Goman to the baseline, and he flipped it up and in.
Tough shot.
Oh, my. Difficult shot by Eric McLaughlin, the senior.
Well, clearly the Cougars missed their number 1 scorer. It has slowly but surely reared its head here today.
Goman thought about a 3. Cherry run off the line by Staff, puts up the runner in the paint, and he flips it in. Cherry with 10 here in the half, 20 in the ball game for his 9th 20-point game of the season. Staff backing in on Cherry. Cherry holds his ground. Staff lost the handle. Goman's got the loose change. Finds Harvey leaking out. Harvey will steer it out to the corner.
Didn't have the angle, good decision.
Scott Hetty says, let's run some offense here. 3 subs wait at the table for the Knights. Harvey off the high screen, long 2, got it. Christian Harvey with 4 in the half, 12 in the game. Lead back to 23. Pline got the step, now Langcable cut him off on the baseline. Pline flipped it up and in anyway, and drew the foul to boot.
Boy, he had a lot of contact, still put it in. Line change now for Marian.
We are due for a media timeout. We'll get just that. We'll stay here. Timeout on the floor, 14:42 to go. Marian leads this one 64-43. Carter Pline will have a free throw on the other side of the stoppage. But the Knights leading by 21 with 14:42 to go. Today's game is brought to us by Indiana Members Credit Union. Proud to support Marian University, now offering a free Marian Knights debit card with a free checking account. Get your Knights debit card today and show your support. Visit any IMCU branch or sign up now online at imcu.com. Membership savings required. Federally insured by NCUA. Well, in case you're just joining us, you missed a good one in the opener. The Marian Knights women's team pulling away from a first quarter deficit to win handily, 75-59 over Mount Vernon Nazarene. Knights improved to 19-2 on the season, 10-1 in conference play. And that middle two quarters we saw in the women's game today, Jan, they put on an absolute clinic from a ball movement standpoint, from a defensive pressure standpoint, and just blew the game wide open.
Yeah, I really thought the play of Evans really made the difference. I mean, there were a lot of players, hard to single anybody out. Obviously, Collier does what Collier does, but I thought they got a really good uplift from their bench.
17 bench points for the Knights today en route to the win. They'll be back at it at Grace next Wednesday night. Blind's free throw is missed. Foe runs it down. Let's set the lineups for you. So some new faces came in for the Knights. Josh Bryan, Maximus Gizzi, Nolan Foster, and Gavin Foe all coming in. Foster turns it over and then fouls Molk. So during that timeout, Scott Heddy subbed in four returnees from the first half.
Yeah,
Hayden Lankable, the only starter to stay in.
Foster brings some, 6'10" height to the ball club. You may could put it on the floor once, but you ain't putting it on there twice.
Well, you've talked about that in games past that we've done where big guys bring the ball down below their waist. Good things usually don't happen.
No, it doesn't. Usually bad things happen. You're so big right there, go up. Just go up.
Staff attacks on Foster. In the lane, might have gotten away with a walk, and he finished it off the board. Halbert Staff with 4 points all here in the second half.
This could be an opportunity for Foster to get some really good minutes here.
64-45. Knights have led by as much as 23. Corner three by Foe is good.
Wow.
Gavin Foe, just his 7th three of the season.
Good
First points off the
again.
bench.
Just great ball movement all game long for the Knights.
Knights were shorthanded on Wednesday night at St. Francis, played just 8 players. Foe got his first start of the year and had 9 points and 8 rebounds. Knights come the other way. Lankable has it in the corner. Foe's got another 3, but run off the line. Bryant steps into a long 2. That's good. And we give Josh Bryant a chance to set his feet on that shot. Good things are going to happen.
Coming off that backside for a lefty, that's a tough shot to block because of everything's going opposite the way you want to guard him.
Rugseger takes Gizzi to the rim, scores, and he's fouled. I'm really impressed with Rugseger. I like his game.
I do as well. Really is not afraid to take it to the rim. It goes up with some strength. Take a look here.
Gizzi takes the foul.
Pretty good defense. He just really physical that one up towards the glass.
So Barika's back in for McLaughlin, as is Koenig. Rugseger leads the Cougars. He's got 15, make it 16. Free throw is good.
I think you mentioned this, Rob, a few times, but Coach Heddy hasn't even got that many kids dressed tonight.
Yeah, 10 available today for the Knights, 11 for the Cougars. Bryan for 3, clanks off the heel, but Foe's got the offensive rebound. Gizzi a 3 at the top. He missed it. Foster taps at it off the end line, back to the Cougars.
Well, they have 13 listed on their roster.
Yeah, 10 available today. Rowan Farrell, the redshirt sophomore out of McCutcheon, is available to play today for the first time since late November. Brody Whitaker's out. Jackson Ames is out. Hayden Naraz redshirting. There's your 3 unavailables. As the Knights come the other way. Harvey all the way down the lane, runs into Barika. Oh, offensive foul. Boy, Barika rolled the dice there, because if that's a foul, that's his 5th. But he took the charge.
Yeah, it's a pretty good call. Looked like he was pretty stable there.
And he was a good 2 feet out front of the circle.
Yep, that's key too.
So Christian Harvey, offensive foul, his 1st and the team's 6th. 12 minutes to go, 12 and change to be exact. Rugseger curling off the screen, missed the 3 off the heel. Staff up high to get the rebound, steps through and draws a foul. Well, Halbert Staff giving the Cougars a little energy off the bench here.
Yeah, the freshman, good-looking young man, getting involved. Boys, time goes on, it just feels like everybody's 6'8" with long arms. And there's just not much room when you're that high, that long, and can jump.
Foe takes the foul. Staff's free throw nicks the front of the rim. Staff averaging just under 5 points a game. We mentioned freshman out of Bærum, Norway, Philippe Orvilli, who has only appeared in 3 games, also from that same hometown. Staff missed the second one. Rugseger's got the offensive rebound, causing Scott Heddy to turn away in disgust. Molk to the baseline, cut off. Barica works on Foster. Might have gotten hit at the rim, tied up on the rebound attempt, and he'll stay at that end with the Cougars having the arrow. Good defense by Foster to go straight up there.
Yeah, and he can come in and get some minutes here. You know, when Cherry gets some foul trouble, especially when the Knights go against some really big ball clubs, he's got some fouls to give.
Cherry's back in. Barica slips to the goal on the inbounds and throws it down with 2 hands. My.
He's played pretty well today.
Barica with 9 points in the game. Came in averaging 3.5. Open 3 in the corner for Foe is too strong. Cherry taps the rebound back to him. Possession continues. Harvey tries 3. That's off the back of the iron. Bryan's got the rebound, but Barica blocks the shot.
Wow, what a nice rebound. Wasn't able to put it back. That kid can get up, Candy.
Rugseger curls at the rim and finishes. Used his body to protect himself from the shot blocker, Cherry. And the Cougars have rolled off 7 in a row to chip it down to 17.
So Brad's 6'5", but man, can he get up.
Bryan to the foul line, gives to Harvey. Tries a 3, that's too strong. Rebounded by Rugseger.
Vernon went a little cold here last few possessions.
Cougars get a basket here, we may see a timeout.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Koenig, stop and go drive, no space. Molk down the baseline, he stepped on the sideline as he made his catch. Scott Heddy's got reinforcements at the table. Luke Heddy, Hayden Langcable, and Luke Goman return. Foe, Bryan, and Harvey have a seat. That's the thing, Jan, we're deep enough in the season. Scott Heddy's gone this long. He's gone 20 games, playing multiple guys double-figure minutes. There's all sorts of combinations he can work here.
Yeah, and that's a plus for him. The more combinations you feel comfortable with, the better.
Langcable picked up by Barica on a switch, who has to be careful, Barica, with 4 fouls. Gizzy drives, leaves for Cherry. Pull into a 15-foot floater that's too strong, and Barica one-hands the rebound. Molk. Staff through the lane against Goen, put it up too strong. Cherry's got the rebound. He wants to race it up the floor 1-on-2. All the way to the goal. He's too strong, too big.
Yes, sir. That was one bowling ball. The pin said, nope, I'm getting out of the way.
Cherry has 12 in the half, a game-high 22 in the ball game. Staff had his pocket picked by Gizzy, and he fouls Gizzy.
Gizzy working really, really hard.
That's an inexperienced play by a freshman who will get stronger.
It's a complete different game.
Yep. Gizzy was waiting and turned him over. Turnover still 14-3 favoring Marian. And jump ball called there. Heddy was trying to flip it to Cherry on the congestion. And a tie-up called. Let's take a look at this again. Koenig got a hand on the ball and tied Heddy up. Knights have the arrow, though, so it stays at that end. Cherry working against Barica with 4 fouls. Barica held his ground, got a piece, but the rebound ricochets to Goman. Cherry bulldozes down the lane. Flipper rolls off the back of the iron, and Rugstegger comes the other way. Molk down the baseline, leaves for Barica, and he puts it up and in. Chera Barica with 11 points. It's back to a 17-point game. 9 minutes to go. Cherry wide open for 3. Got it again.
Yeah, he is comfortable out there, isn't he?
He is 3 for 4, all in the second half from the three-point line. The lead is 20.
Got a great release. Good
He's
arch.
got 25 points.
Ball rotation.
Molk tries 3. It's off the rim short. And Gizzy walks it up. Leaves for Goman trailing. Cherry wants it in the paint. Swings over to Hetty. Too deep a catch for him to shoot the 3. Cherry's got Barica ISO'd. Now runs screen roll with Gizzy. Gizzy stop and go. Protects the basketball and lays it in.
And that's a piece to his game he's really added. A physical presence towards the rim.
Sometimes it takes some time for guards to be able to get comfortable to get that contact at the college level and still finish it. Gizzy certainly has that comfort. Barica working left block against Cherry. Cherry holds his ground. Barica drop step but missed the shot. Good help by Goman to clear away the rebound. Dribble handoff, lane cable, run off the three-point line, splits it out to Hetty. Cherry dribbles into an elbow jumper. It's good.
I'm just taking a wild guess and saying Cherry's in a groove.
That thing is smooth as butter, and Cherry just stares at his hand as if he'd pull the hot pan off the stove. That hand is red hot. Cherry's got it working as the timeout's called. 17 and a half, red hot. 27 in the ball game, and the Knights have matched their biggest lead, 24. We'll keep it here with 7:41 to go.
He's saying, "Hand, I don't know what you're doing, but don't change a thing."
Let's keep doing it. Well, the Knights have matched their biggest lead, 24 points, 7:41 to go. 4 players in double figures this afternoon. Today's game brought to us by First Onsite, formerly More Restoration. They're here to help power you through whatever comes your way. They are a leading North American property restoration company that specializes in emergency response restoration and reconstruction following disasters of any kind, from fire and flood to catastrophic storms or biohazards. They have the team, technology, and resources to help you restore, rebuild, and rise. Go Knights. Well, Jan mentioned earlier the Knights are undefeated this season when scoring at least 80 points. They're sitting on 78 right now with 7:41 to go. I feel fairly confident that stat may hold up again today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'll tell you. And let's not forget, he got 2 fouls early, and I don't believe he's added another one to my maybe, but I don't think so.
He has not. He picked up 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes and has not picked up one since.
It had to set, and since that time, he has clearly given this team a huge lift.
27 points for Tyshawn Cherry, 4 away from his season high of 31 that he did last Saturday against this very Mount Vernon team on the road. Klein's back in the game during that timeout called by the Cougars. That was the immediate timeout, I should say. The under 8 turned over by the Cougars. Here comes Langcable. Thought about the 3, now takes it inside, back out to Hetty. Gizzy. Hetty swing to Langcable, run off the line, and he stepped on the corner on the sideline. We've seen that a lot today.
We have.
In both games, both the men's game and the women's game.
Timeout.
30-second timeout called by Marian. We'll keep it here. 7:12 to go. And the Knights leading 78-54 over Mount Vernon. We mentioned the Knights beating Mount Vernon at Mount Vernon Nazarene last weekend over in Ohio, 87-77. That win ran the Knights' winning streak over the Cougars in the all-time series to 10. Knights have won 15 of the previous 24 meetings heading into today.
Coach Hetty pretty animated in that timeout, even with this huge lead. Here's Cherry doing what he has done all game long, 27 points. Made it look relatively smooth and easy.
It's a tough line to walk, Jan, because we've seen so many times this year that Cherry has often such a size advantage. You want him to go inside, but boy, when you see that stroke, how can you have him pass up a jump shot?
I don't think you jump his case, that's for sure. You applaud it.
McLaughlin's back in, number 12 for the Cougars. After a brief rest, Rucksteger backs in. Gizzy missed the shot, drew the foul. That might be on Hetty on the dig down help. It is.
Well, the other part of that, too, because he can't shoot outside, that defender's got to choose what he's going to do. If he comes out to really put pressure on him, he's shown that he can take it to the rim on the dribble drive. So, you know, you got a big guy can play the full gamut of positions. That's pretty solid.
Rucksteger fouled in the act of shooting. That's team foul 8. Second foul on Luke Hetty. Second free throw goes good. Rucksteger's got 20 points in the ball game. 78-56. Hetty, Gizzy, Langcable, Cherry, and Goman. Gizzy the only reserve on the floor. Cherry's three from the corner is good again.
Okay, he's crossed over to unconscious now.
He's 4 out of 5, all from all the second half from the three-point line, and he's sitting on 30 points. He has put on a shooting clinic here in this second half. Klein draw and kick to McLaughlin for 3. That's off the front of the rim. Rebound falls into the lap of Gizzy. He's on the run up the right side, muscles his way to the goal and scores.
Yeah, once again, I've said this year he has brought that to his game under control and uses his physical strength really well.
Gizzy with 4 all here in the second half. McLaughlin pump fakes a 3. Klein with the face up on Langcable. Backs him down, put it up and in. Looked like it was going to spin out, but it came down. Klein has 9 off the bench. 83-58. Final 6 minutes. Langcable, corner 3. Got it. Well, that's his first attempt after going 4 out of 5 in the first half. Yeah, that's his first 3 attempted in the second half, and he knocked it down.
He doesn't force much, but when he shoots it, you just go, it's going in. That's just what he does.
Rucksteger flips it up and in over Cherry. Cherry held his ground, stayed down not to commit the foul, and Rucksteger tosses it in. He has 22. Knights are 14 of 29 from the three-point line. Cherry, right side Hetty for 3. He got it.
Man, they got everybody in. Everybody's enjoying it today.
Luke Hetty knocks one in.
Wow.
Scott Hetty calls time just to get his subs into the game. We'll keep it here.
When I have seen Marian play a couple times, this is what I've seen. Guys on the floor, good spacing, quickness, quick tempo, and just great shooters.
Knights are 50%, 15 out of 30 from the three-point line. 6 different players have hit threes today for the Knights. Luke Hetty has been kind of working through a shooting slump in the last couple games, but good to see him knock one down, his 17th of the year. The Knights have taken care of the basketball. We'll revisit that turnover stat. Just 4 turnovers for Marian, forcing 14. And I don't think, Jan, that Mount Vernon has played poorly today.
No.
They've just been caught under an avalanche of three-point shooting.
Well, clearly they missed their number 1 scorer. They missed him on the rim protection, his scoring, his rebounding. It's hard to take that out of your equation when he's such a big piece of it. Marian will be at Grace on January the 25th. Actually, I think that's here.
That game's here, yeah. That's a huge game.
Yeah, it is.
Number 6 team in the country coming in on Wednesday night.
I think
occupying that second place spot right now in the league at 8-2.
I believe we'll be here.
You and Kurt Darling will have that call here on ISC.
That should be fun.
So let's talk that game up so everybody watches that game on Friday, on Wednesday night, next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock.
That's a must game for Marian if they want to make, if they have the shot at making any dent of moving up to number 2. 2 games behind number 2, depending on what Grace does today.
And Grace is hosting Huntington, who is one of the 2 teams tied with Marian in that 3-way tie for 3rd. Nice job by Molk to fake the first defender off his feet. Bryant blocked the first shot, but Molk's there to grab the putback and put it in. 7 for TC Molk off the bench. 89-62. Bryant pump fake to 3. Foe's open, hands to Bryant. Now Bryant tees one up. Short front rim, tapped up no by Foster. Knocked loose to the floor, Foe's got it.
Yeah, but at least he kept it alive.
Gizzy found Bryant on a nice back cut, and he had to shoot it quick, and he flipped it in.
Give Gizzy the assist. I think Gizzy's really kind of broken out here and got into his comfort zone. Played really, really well today.
A solid player. Barica found Rukseger on a nice bounce on the back cut, and Rukseger scored. Rukseger's had to carry the load offensively today. He has 24. It's 91-64. Inside 4 minutes to go. Foster against Barica, playing with 4 fouls, went straight up, ball knocked loose. Rukseger's got it. 3-on-3 up the right side. Molk wants a corner 3, and he has a corner 3. Molk with 10 off the bench, a 3 in each half. 91-67. Foe in the corner. Gizzy curling in the lane, looking for space. Finds Hetty right side, back to Gizzy. Steps into a long 2 off the front of the rim. Bryan snuck in and got the rebound. Couple defenders there. If that's Barica, that's 5. But Rukseger was also there, and he takes the foul, his first, team 4th. Bryan is sneaky active on the offensive glass.
Yeah, he is. He's played well as well.
His calling card, his reputation is as a shooter, but he's active on that offensive glass. Gizzy stop and go drive, finds Foe in the corner. Lost the handle. Koning's got the steal, and Bryan gives the take foul at half court. They've taken that away in the NBA now. That's an automatic free throw in the NBA, but the college level, as it is in Europe, it's still permitted. Bryan stops a fast break layup. Hang on a second. They're going to take timeout. Immediate timeout. We'll go ahead and stay here. Bryan's foul, his 3rd. And Marian's over the limit, so there'll be a 1-and-1. We're going to take a look at the monitor, though, just to take a quick peek-see at this. I think they're maybe going to look and see if it's an intentional foul.
Exactly what they're going to look at.
Yep.
And they may have a case too, because when you go to reach to slow him down, you can make a serious case.
Especially when
right there, the right arm.
Yeah, especially when you consider that by the time Bryan got his left arm around him, Koning is already past him, and the ball is also past him.
You can make a case for that. Let's see if they call it or not.
Yeah, 2/3 of our official crew huddling up in front of the table, taking a look at the fine work of our replay man, Dennis Glover. Trying to sort this out here. 2:59 to go. Knights lead 91-67. In case you're wondering, Marian has scored at least 100 points 4 times this year. Scott Hetty getting an explanation on the call.
I'm taking a wild guess he'll go ahead and agree with officials with a big lead.
They did indeed call an intentional foul.
And I think it's the right call. You can't, right there, there's no question about it.
But your point is spot on, Jan. His reception of that news with a 24-point lead and 3 minutes to go is
Little
dramatically different
Yes, sir.
than if this was a two-possession game.
They didn't have to do much explaining
No.
for him to agree with him.
No, he had the same demeanor as if someone came over in a restaurant and asked him if he wanted more sugar in his coffee. Koenig hits both free throws. And the Cougars will have the basketball as well after the intentional foul. Inside 3 minutes to go in this one. And all nights today. Barica spins on Foster. Foster held his ground. Barica falls away. That's great defense by Foster.
Foster stood his ground. That's what the big guy to do.
Bryan picks up his dribble at the top side. Gizzy into the lane. Great bounce into the corner to Hetty. Ball swung to Bryan for three off the rim, but Foe's got an offensive rebound. Out to Gizzy for the 22nd reset. Deep bounce into Foster. Works on Barica. Reverse layup up and in. Nolan Foster with a bucket.
Really good move for the big guy.
That's a good end-to-end sequence. Good defense at this end. He gets the bucket at the other. And trailing the play was Molk, but Bryan had him wrapped up. Fourth foul on Josh Bryan. 10th on the night, so double bonus time the rest of the way for the Cougars. There's that look at that move by Foster. And that's a nice move by the big man.
6'10".
Transfer from Ohio University in the MAC. Molk hits the first free throw. Christian Harvey's back in for Bryant. Good return to action for Josh Bryan, who had missed the last 4 games due to a calf injury. Contributed 9 points off the bench and a 3. Molk hits both free throws. He's had a good game for the Cougars with 12 off the bench.
And let's not forget, this is all without Whitaker playing too.
Yeah, who's been a 16-point-a-game scorer. Gizzy's foul line follow-away off the iron. Rugseger ISO'd against Hetty. Takes him down to the rim. Reverse layup is too strong. Rugseger fights with the rebound with Foster. And what's the call? They call the foul on Hetty. Oh, my. Hetty's foul, his third.
Not much there.
That's a late whistle.
Yeah,
they call
they
that
got
foul.
him.
I thought they called the foul on Foster on the rebound because the whistle was so delayed. Rugseger knocks in the free throw. Edging toward a double-double is Rugseger. This is the second. 25 points, 9 rebounds for the junior out of Dover, Ohio.
Now, how many young men can say they played for their dad in high school and played for their dad in college?
Not many. That's a short list.
That
right
is
there.
a short list.
Down the baseline, Foe gets to Gizzy. Plenty of time. Deep catch by Foster. He had Barica backed underneath the bucket, and they found him. Foster lays it in. 95-72.
Marion's had 104 times this year.
Final minute 15. Barica on the right baseline. Backs Foster in. Left-hand jump hook is off the mark. Rebounded by Foe. Harvey takes his time into the forecourt. Gizzy left side. Swings over to Hetty. Knights in no hurry to shoot. Shot clock at 10. Foster was coming up to set a high screen and slipped and fell. Now Harvey will have to improvise himself. Tried to bounce it to Foster, and the pass behind him. Here comes Molk the other way. Bounce ahead to Koenig, lays it in. Good pass in transition. Koenig lays it in.
Just want to get some subs in here.
Yeah, Jeremy Renee calls time just to get 2 other guys into the game. Justin Solis is in.
I'm like you,
and
though.
Aaron McLaughlin is back in as well.
The Cougars don't feel like they've played, just terrible or anything like that. I mean, this is the night where Marian just flat out played on all cylinders and shot the ball incredibly well.
Make that Philip Overly into the game as well, playing the basketball, number 14. Likely the final possession for the Knights. Harvey tries a 3. Short, rebound. Gizzy saves it, out to Harvey. Shot clock is off. Scott Hetty says we don't need to shoot. We'll dribble out the final 4 seconds and put this win in the back pocket. So it's all Knights today. as the Knights outscore Mount Vernon and Nazarene 45-18 from the three-point line and shoot 54% from the floor. On the way to their 17th win of the season and their 7th win in conference. Mount Vernon drops to 10-10 overall and 3-7 in the league. Tyshawn Cherry led the way today. It was Hayden Langcable who carried the load in the first half with 16 first half points. Tyshawn Cherry with 18 in the second half, and he had it going.
I'll tell you, Coach Eddie's got this team playing at an awful high level. They flat out have bought into what he wants done. Their focus was unbelievable, shot the ball well. How about the stat in the first half? Played at a rate unbelievable and did turn it over. That's unheard of.
Tremendous day for the Knights as both the women and men's programs pick up conference wins over Mount Vernon Nazarene. Partner, was a pleasure. Enjoyed
Absolutely,
it.
always.
A lot of fun. Hope you've enjoyed this one as well. Thanks to our great crew today, Jordan Shue, our director, Dennis Glover on the replay, Rob Lynch, Chase Eisnogel, Greg Sharp, and Becca Kelly on the camera. For my partner, Jan Bozier, I'm Rob Brown. Again, our final today for the PE Center. Marian wins 95-72. So long, everybody.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Own a home? Here's a tip. Don't dump your garbage in the street. Neighbors get fussy about that sort of thing. Instead, count on Ray's Trash to haul it away. Ray's can supply 96-gallon waste and recycling bins that'll make you the envy of the cul-de-sac. And when you need a roll-off container for that big job, guess who's going to be there for you? That's right, Ray's. Your filth needs a place of its own. Ray's Trash will move it there. You know where to go.
Ray'sTrash.com.
Ray's Trash.